Good Sunday morning. Today I've got get over here and I'm going to rewire and reroute the scale system that we set up on the squeeze chute. When I set it up, I didn't set it up properly. There weren't any instructions or anything and all of that. The wiring and everything is done fine, but it's the way the feet are set up. But because of that, I've got to reroute all the cables and that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten everything up, clean up all the wiring and all of that. And today is going to be about the best day to do that here. I've really got to get these cows run through that chute, and I need that scale to be accurate. You can see it's kind of overcast today. It's kind of been that kind of way last couple, I don't know, 2 weeks now. Boy, it's been a while. Anyway, the cows are relatively close, but they're starting to scatter out. So I'm going to check them really quickly. I know I say that every day. This is going to be a short video, but I really do need to kind of get this thing done and knocked out. So I'm going to walk through them, keep an eye on them, and then I'm going to go take care of this scale for this squeeze chute. So let's get to work. Okay, so I'm going to walk over here. They're not far, which is a good thing, and I'm going to try to be quick. Try not to bore you to death with the same old details. So we'll try to be quick and try to get this knocked out. All right, this is what I should be doing. Just taking a nap out here in the field. That would sure be nice. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Oh, you just waking up, huh? Oh, big stretch. Oh, the Crown Prince was catching a nap. It's a pretty good nap, buddy. I'll let you be. I'll back up. It's good to see you. Hi, buddy. All right. As promised this time, short video. Everybody looks good out here. You can see they got plenty of feed. We may even have to back off how much we're feeding again, get them back down to maybe 200 pounds a day. Because they're really, they're not using all of this. They're not cleaning it up, and I don't want a lot to go to waste. So everybody's kind of napping. Today's been a little bit warmer, so it's been a little nicer, I guess. Cooler than yesterday, but warmer than it's kind of been for the average. So anyway, everybody looks real good. They're all spread out, napping and enjoying the day. So I'm going to get over here, check the calves and the mom and calf really quickly. And I'm going to go over here and check the yearlings and the mama and calf. And then I'm going to get started on that, the scale for the squeeze chute. All right, I'm here at the corrals. There's mama and baby. I'm not going to give them cookies right now. I've got to get working on this chute to get this thing taken care of. I know they need water, but I'm going to do that afterwards. They've got plenty of water for right now. Same as these guys on the end down here. These guys have got plenty of water as well. They got plenty of food, all of that. They're going to be fine for a couple of hours. You can see they've got a fresh bale and all of that. So everything is good. I do need to fill water, as I said. This one's getting pretty low, but that's no problem. I'm not going to leave before I fill up. But I've really get started. Hey, buddy. There's my buddy, old knucklehead right there. You can see his head is covered in hay. So we'll get over here and we'll get started on this scale and get it done. I'll show you what I've got to do. I've got to move some tools over there, and I've got to jack it up. But first I'm going to rewire, I'm going to reroute all the wiring. It's a nice enough day that I'm able to drive the old Jeep. Makes me happy. It's still a little brisk, but that's it's better than the other options. So let's go take a look. So I'm not sure if you saw the previous video. When I originally set this up, there were no instructions whatsoever. So when I had originally set it up, let me see, I'm going to back out. I had set it up with the leg on top of this plate, and I had it extended beyond so that I could adjust that leg and that kind of thing. But what was happening was the scale, every time we'd step on and step off, it was going, the zero would get messed up, and it just wouldn't take a good calibration, and it just kept acting goofy. So we had to call the manufacturer, or not the manufacturer, the distributor. They didn't even have the information for the for the calibration. So I had to call them to get the information. It's a YouTube video to learn how to do the calibration. We did that and it still wasn't working properly. So I called him back, I sent him pictures, and he explained that these feet need to be under that plate, and he thinks that that's going to take care of it. And that makes some sense to me now thinking about it, because that plate is going to be taking the entire distribution of the weight, rather than it having some play or a little leverage to move on the end. As I had it out protruding out on this side, it was allowing a little flex right there, which was screwing up the zero, which screws up the setup for it and everything else. So this side was relatively easy to do. I didn't have to reroute any wires or anything like that. Hi kids. Mama and the babe are coming up to me because they're very used to us now, getting some cookies. Hi babe. See that face? That's a milky little nose right there. So anyhow, this side was relatively easy to take care of because it wasn't a big deal. But I'll show you the other side here, and I'll show you why it's been a pain. So this is how I had originally set them up. And looking at it now, I can absolutely understand that here with the foot extended out here, it's going to allow a little flex. So every time you move and every time it gets stepped on, it's going to screw up the calibration. Additionally, you can see that because the wire is going to run here along the length and it's not going to be under, I ran it through the eye right there so that a cow or a calf wouldn't get in and be able to pull that or whatever. And additionally, if you look right here, I kind of routed everything through this point right here, again for the same reason, so that I could kind of tie everything and secure it. And then you'll see that I kind of secured it, but it's absolutely not what I was hoping for. It's not, I knew that this was going to be a job that I was going to do over, and you can kind of see all of the wiring here. What I was trying to do is I was trying to hurry, get this thing set up, make sure it functioned properly, get the cows and calves done, and then on another day, like today, I could come back and I could rewire this section here so that we get rid of all of that cable and all of that. And additionally, this here, I'm going to tie that up a little better and so on. So today what I've got to do is I've got to take off all of these wire zip ties. I've got to take off all of the zip ties here. I've got to disconnect all the wiring that's in this connection box. And then I've got to pull everything out of here. I've got to pull everything out of those eyes. And then I'm going to remount the feet so that they are done properly. Then I'm going to route the wires here, and I'm going to get a measurement. I'm going to put that connection box right here. That's my goal, is to set it right there so there's not a bunch of movement or a bunch of excess wire. I'm going to clip everything, wire it, mount that box right there, and then there's just going to be the one wire that's going to go to the readout right here. So that's the job for the day, and let's get busy here. Okay, I'm not going to do a bunch of talking today. I'm going to get here, I'm going to start trimming these wires all back, get everything dismounted or disconnected, pulled down out of the way, and that kind of thing. Much of this part of the video is going to be sped up to keep the length of it short, but I'm not going to be doing a bunch of talking because of that. And just know that if there is a point where I need to stop and really explain something, I'll stop the video, pause the video, or whatever. I'll give you a brief description of what I am doing, and then we'll go back to it and just kind of speed the video back up so that you're not sitting here for 2 hours watching me sit here for 2 hours and get this done. Try to keep this video relatively short. I know it'll still probably be about 20 minutes, but we're going to try to keep it as short as possible. The readout is relatively easy to take down. Makes it very nice, actually, pretty handy. with these guys, and especially the calf, you don't want to leave little things like that laying around, because sure enough they'll play with it and they'll get it in their mouth and swallow it just like a child. So all right, so this is what I've got for a workbench. There are 6 screws that kind of hold in this cover, hold on this cover. It's definitely not the most stable workbench, for sure. Okay. So this is the wiring on the inside of it. These blocks, these 4, are the different 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the different wiring for each foot or leg, whichever way you want to call that. And this one goes to the indicator. So because I've got to undo everything, I've got to take everything off and pull everything out of this box, and we'll have to rewire it here after I get everything kind of cut to length and that kind of thing. And it's this little flat head here. These don't require any kind of torque or being super tight or anything like that. They just need to make connection and stay in place. So it's not like these have got to be 50 foot-pounds of torque or anything ridiculous. So they're pretty easy to disconnect. Right now there's no power to them or anything like that. The only power this entire system has is a couple of AA's. There is a plug-in that you can use, but I just don't have any power out here. So there's just not, and I'm not going to be using it regularly, so it's not a big deal to replace batteries or whatever. Of course, as soon as you need the batteries and as soon as you need the system, then of course the batteries are going to be dead or whatever. So that's the way life works. As I go, I'm just kind of pulling these loose, kind of clears up, makes me a little room so I can get to the next ones. The system actually is really nice. It's not bad at all. All right, we had to pause really quickly there. I had to make sure that I have the order for these wires to reattach when I go to put them back together. Otherwise, I'll be all kinds of messed up. And you can kind of see over my shoulder, although this video isn't really about that, you can see Mama is right there. Maybe you can see her in that view you've got. I know I've got it kind of zoomed in on what I'm doing. In the past, she would stay kind of on the far side of the corral over there. She wasn't running off or anything like that, but she just wasn't keen on being next to me or in my pocket or anything like that. But over this last, I don't know, couple of weeks, we've been working on trust and that kind of thing with her. And due to that, she's become much more friendly and curious of what we're doing and interested in what we're doing. So makes it nice. That's just one more thing that kind of goes back to what I was talking about, is that whole building trust and all of that. I had them all loose. Okay, I've got this undone now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all these nuts off of here. Those are kind of a connector that kind of squeeze and keep moisture out and that kind of thing. So I'm going to put all those in that. What in the world did I do there? That one kind of got pushed out a little bit, so there we go. Okay, so let that go. I want to make sure that I'm not going to lose the other one that was on here for the Last one. Right. What I've got to do now is I'm going to pull everything back through this that I had it secured to. Everything is kind of routed a different direction, so it's kind of problematic. And when I rewire it, I'm going to do the same thing. Put it back in here. Then I'll determine how long I need them. I'll cut them, strip the wires back, rewire everything, and go from there. This other one can actually kind of stay put right there because it goes to the other side, and I've already redone it, so it can kind of stay in place. Hi, Mama. Hi, little babe. This one here can kind of stay in place because it's already redone as well. That goes on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it back through, and then I'll put those out of our way. So those are kind of finished now. And when we get close, what I'll have to do is I'll have to get them to length, and I'll cut them to length that we want them. But for now, I'm just going to put those out of our way so they're not in the way, they don't get pulled or anything like that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to close that. I'm going to pull this wire out from under here. Toss it out of our way, kind of clean this area up a little bit. I think I've said before that honestly, if you're uncomfortable with getting your hands dirty and that kind of thing, you're really gonna struggle with owning animals because it's just kind of, you feed them, comes out the other end, and you end up working in it quite a bit. So I guess you could figure out how to wear gloves or something like that. For me, you just get used to it. So okay, so now I'm gonna move all this. Okay, so now what I've got to do is I've got to jack this up. I've got to undo all of these. I've got to turn it and put this block back under it, but I've got to remove this and put it under. So that's what we'll do next. All right, we've got it jacked up. First thing I'm going to do is remove these blocks because these are now going to be too thick to fit back under there. The reason for that is that we're going to be moving it below, so we're going to gain about 1.5 inches, which is about the thickness of that right there. Additionally, you can see this block is broken. It wasn't quite level. So I'm going to move this foot back here so it's more centered on this part of the block. And then I'm going to put the small piece of wood on top of that I need so that it's not on this broken part. So let's get this loosened and taken care of. So before I mount that foot, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the level. If I need to dig this out any, I'll go ahead and do that now. I do want to make sure that there's a block of wood on that so that I can adjust it a little bit. Once I put this under that plate, I can't really get to this set screw, this adjustment screw, so I'm kind of stuck. So I'm going to kind of check the level first, see where we are, and then I'm going to mount it and determine what I need and see how close we're going to be. So, okay, because this is the uphill side, unfortunately, when I finish, this side is going to be high. So I'm going to have to go back to the other side, and I've got some boards here to kind of level it to get it really close. So I'm going to mount the feet on this side, put the boards under it, get it level this way, and then I'm going to have to move to the other side and adjust the other side to match this side. So, okay, I've got the first one switched around there, you can see. Got it mounted underneath now. It's bolted in well. Got a new board there. We're off of the crack, so it's going to be level. Now I'll get started on the other. Okay, I won't need this on this side now. I may need it on the other side. Okay, and looking at this now, I can actually see where the corner of this was rubbing here, and it's actually gone and actually kind of created it peeled it back and it's got a little sharp edge there now. So it was definitely moving and flexing right there where we don't want it flexing. We don't want this foot to be flexing in any way. We want that to be solidly mounted and setting so that there's no movement in this whatsoever. As I said, once I got looking at it, after I'd spoken to the distributor, it made sense. It was logical that yes, there would be some flex right here with just using the corner, and that would create a problem. So it's one of those things that I didn't consider before I put it together. Would have been a heck of a lot easier if I would have had just good instructions, good directions the first time, but that's kind of the way it works. You have to kind of figure things out once in a while. So because of the way we're mounting it now, I do have to use this plate that secures over these big holes, and it acts as a washer to kind of hold that in place where it needs to. You coming up to visit me? Okay, so I've got it lifted, and I'm going to try to level this side as much as I can prior to lowering it, so that we're really close without creating so that we're really close before we set it down that way. I'm a little high on the front, so what I'm going to do is put a little bit more under this rear foot back here, and we'll see how this works out. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lower this and see how close we are once it's got some weight on it. All right, and that is really doggone close. That is, boy, it's not even it's the bubble's touching just one side of it, and I think I can live with that. Now let me look across the side to side here. And I am quite a bit high on this side, which I figured I would be because this is the uphill side over here. So I've got to come around the other side. I'm going to jack it up a little bit, and I'm going to have to see what I'm going to have to do to get it a little bit more level. Okay, so I've got it jacked up on the other side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower it gradually until this is level. Then I'm going to adjust the legs a little bit to where it's a little high, and then I'm going to set the weight down. I'm going to see how close we are. Okay, I'm pretty close where I need to be there. I think I may have enough play with the legs that I won't have to do much here. one's in place. I'm going to get another board, a thinner board. Okay, I've got this pretty close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower it down, and I'm going to see what we end up with right here. All right, we're off. And boy, it couldn't be more level. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a look this way again, just to be sure. And I'm actually a little high on the rear now. So I'm going to see if I can't jack it up just a little bit here on the front, primarily on this corner, but what I'll do is I'll just jack the whole front up and we'll take a look and see if we can't get it from there. Okay, so after a bunch of back and forth, I've got it nice and level. Everything looks good. So what I'm going to do is just kind of tuck this wire. I'm going to pull through, probably back through here, and then try to go around underneath. And then from there, I'm going to go through that same spot again, and then I'm going to wire tie it there, start coming up. And what I'll do is I'll just wire tie it about halfway. Then I'll measure it, clip everything, and then we'll start rewiring it here. So I'm trying to tuck it here. You'll see that I'm kind of pulling it towards the inside so that it's going to be under. And then I'm just going to come back around. And I'll try to keep it under all the way as I go back in that direction. I'll leave that a little slack because I want to be able to tuck that under a little bit over there. So that one's in. This one I just need to come this way. I'll do the same thing. I'll end up tucking that all the way under there. So everything there will end up tucked under there. Everything here will get zip tied together. And we'll go right there to that right there, that post. And then we'll tuck everything. I'm going to have to kind of dress it up afterwards. Okay, I've got that about where I want it. I've got it running up the face right here. Right here. I've got it turned where it wraps around the back side right here so that it doesn't interfere with the lock on this door. So I don't have to worry about that at all. I've got to run around the back side. I've got it tied here, but this is loose so I can still adjust it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these up. I'm going to hold my junction box kind of in place where I'm going to want that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these individually up to length to ensure that everything's about where I need it. And I'm going to pull the junction box down and then wire the majority of it with everything cut to length right here to where I can work on it. Okay, I measured everything basically to the junction box here. I left them a little long so that we can tie them here as well, but they've got plenty up there, so it'll be plenty long. I'm going to secure them there, but first I'm going to have to pull this down, wire this, and then put everything back up, slide my zip tie up to kind of hold them in place here. I'm going to have to use a little tape temporarily to kind of hold everything where I'm satisfied with it. I don't want it to look like crap. This is the time that we want to get it right. So I'll have that up in place. It'll all be secure, and we'll get her all wired up. So with them down here, I can still kind of trim them back, and I can have that box, and I'll be able to work on them right here at a decent level. First thing I got to do is cut this cover back just a little bit to expose the wires on the inside right there. I've got to go really easy here and just lightly cut around there because this ought to come off pretty easy. So it's got some sheathing, you can see that. So we'll pull that sheathing back. That kind of protects the wires if you have to do just like I did, trim it. And it's got like a foil sheathing as well. And we'll kind of pull that all back. And we'll dress this up as we go. And then we'll wire them in. Okay, so I've got all those cut back. I'm just going to put one wrap of tape around this to kind of cover that sheathing and that kind of thing that protrudes past the protective outer coating here. So I'm just going to put one quick wrap right there. Just to kind of secure that and protect it. So I'm going to do that on all of them. You can see it just kind of covered up the end of it right there. And that's basically what they had. They used heat shrink on it previously, but just kind of holds everything in place and kind of gets that sheathing back out of our way and that kind of thing. So it doesn't interfere with any of the other connections or anything like that. Okay, same thing. Just covering up the end so that that sheathing can't interfere with anything. So I'm going to measure basically from where I have this mount. But I'm going to leave a couple folds in here for this. And the reason being is, I'm just throwing a quick piece of tape on there to kind of hold that so that that'll kind of remain in place. And it's going to go right here as well. And it would just go there, but I'm going to throw a couple of folds in there on this one. And the reason being is because we're not sure if this is going to be the permanent position of this mount. We may move it forward that way. We may want to move it to the other side. And I do want to have a little security in that I know that I can move this and adjust it to where I want it located. Good springtime morning in the Rockies. My goodness. It really poured a bunch last night. We got a bunch of rain. So we had one decent day and that was about it. See fresh snow up on the mountains here. I'll turn here in just a second. I was wiring up the scale for the squeeze chute yesterday. I got a lot of video and about 3/4 of the way done, the battery died on my phone. So I wasn't able to complete that. I did complete the job itself, but I wasn't able to complete the video itself. So with that, I'm going to get the water going for these calves here. You can see they're coming over there wanting to see what the heck I'm up to. I'm not going to film or video any of the water, putting water out for these guys or anything like that. As I said, it's trying to rain on me, so I'm going to get this water going. I'm going to go over there, give the cow-calf some grain, and then I'll video over there to kind of show you what I got completed on that. I'm not able to calibrate today because of the weather. I don't want the electrical components to get wet or anything like that. So I'm going to get these guys going. I'm going to check the cow-calf. I'm going to give them some grain, and I'll show you what I got accomplished yesterday. So this will kind of be the follow-up finish to what I had going on yesterday. So thank you very much for watching, and let's get to work. I was just going to show you the mountains here. You can see we got a bunch of fresh snow just above us there. It's actually pretty chilly this morning with that wind. It is chilly. So just wanted to kind of show you our weather again, man. I really am ready for some warm weather, but it looks like this coming week we're going to get into the 70s, mid 70s, somewhere in that point there. So anyway, 14-1 over here trying to get all up in my grill. All the kids, they're sure we got something. All right, let's get over here and check this cow-calf. Then I'll show you what I had done to finish on this scale. So let me get these guys some grain. All right, so we got so much grain here that it's filled up both their grain bucket and their block, their mineral block here. So I got to dump this out because otherwise it will dissolve. So you can see kind of that, the mineral there that's kind of dissolved. Let's see here. Set that there for a moment. Dump the rest of that water out. Hi, Mama. Would you like a treat? Hi, you little milky face. Boy, I wish you could see that calf right now. She has got the milkiest little face right now. Let me see if I can catch her here. Do you see that little milky face? Oh my goodness, she's got milk all over. That's a milk smile right there. Too funny. Hi, little girl. Hi, you got a little milky face, huh? You want a treat? We'll give Mama one. Then we'll give you one, you and your little milky face. Oh, you got a milky face. All right. We get these guys some grain, and I got some cookies in my pocket, obviously. So oops, I'm not going to be able to set this up, I don't think, because the wind's going to blow it over. Maybe if I set it real low. We'll see. All right, let's get them some grain. I tell you, this wind is rough this morning. It's got a bite to it for sure. Doesn't help that I got wet. All right. We'll put this in there. Watch out, Mama. Watch out, babe. Watch out, you little milky face. Watch out, kids. You want a treat? There you go. Give you a little treat, huh? There you are, sweetheart. There you go. All right. So let me get in here and show you what I did the other day. All right. So on the lower side here, I'd already gotten the legs swapped out. Took a little time to get it in the right spot, get it nice and level, but we got everything leveled up. I was able to get these legs in, swapped around and leveled up as well. Got that one there as well. I rerouted all of the wiring. Here, let me kind of zoom in a little bit. I rerouted all of the wiring. I trimmed everything. I've got it kind of where I need it here along the rail so that it does not interfere with our latch or anything like that. No problems. It's wrapped around the back side of this this post right here. On the top, I secured a little of it with some tape temporarily because it's easier and faster to kind of hold it in place while you put your zip ties on. But you can see it's a much cleaner install than it was the other day. When it dries out here a little bit, I'm going to put some zip ties on there and replace that that tape. This tape is good. It's a good water resistant, whatever kind of tape, so it should secure it and not be any problem. But I've got this rail. I did save some extra wiring here on the where the readout, the electronics is going to be. I did that because we're not sure exactly if this is going to be the position that we want this readout right now or not. We're going to try it here. We may decide that that's not the best place to have it. We may try to put it on the other side. I'm just not sure where it's going to be put. So I left myself some extra slack, and that's what all of that is. I'll zip tie that down and get it a little prettier than it is right now. But to be honest, that's a pretty clean install for what I'm doing here. The junction box is in a good place, etc. With all of the weather, I just don't want to bring the readout down here, have it get wet, and then the readout go bad itself. So here within the next couple days, when it gets warm and sunny again, I'll bring that down, we'll calibrate it, and we'll check it a few times. We'll run this the mom and the calf through there. We have a decent idea of what I would expect these two to weigh right now. I would expect that the mama weighs 900, maybe. She's filling out real good, so she's going to be close to 1,000 pounds. The calf right there, I would expect it to weigh 300, 350, somewhere right in that area. So those kind of will help me to give me an idea of what they're going to weigh and to ensure that the readout is working properly. So we have everything level. We have everything wired into the junction box real well. Good, decent install. We've got everything where we need it. And here within the next couple of days, we'll get um, that readout in here, calibrate it, and run everybody through and see what we got. So this being the addition to or the end of yesterday's video, it's going to be really short, which, can you believe it? I actually made this part really short. If you get anything out of this video, if you enjoyed the channel, please do me a favor and like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. If you get a good laugh out of little Milky faces right there, do me a favor and give me a like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do look forward to your comments. I really do. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.